All right, guys, back with another weekly Supercoach video. This week we'll be going over round, I think it's round five. I think so. Yeah, we're going over round four, preview of round five. Yeah. Um, as you can see, last week pretty good, 2285, top 1%. He thought it wasn't possible, but he's done it. He's cracked through. Uh, went up 25k in rank, still pretty poor, 34,000, but it's what it happens. Two bad scoring weeks in a row. Rank is kind of messed up. Anyway, get into the team. Some pretty big scorers, some low scorers. Pretty balanced week actually. All right. We'll start on defense. Doherty, Sicily, and Ridley. Amazing. Sicily though, I have to give him the team player of the week. Uh, he went from 14 at three-quarter time to, I think at highest he was at 120. I think that was what he capped out at, and then they kind of brought him back a bit, because it was kind of unfair. He had like 100-point half. It was a bit more. It was like 106-point half, something like that at one point. So yeah, he gets like the player of the week type of thing, super coach player. Anyway, Doherty 185. Now, I think with this, he is actually the highest averaging defender in Supercoach, beating out Lloyd, which is cool. It's good that someone else is stepping up because it gets stale after a minute. Last year Lloyd, Laird, Laird was kind of the year before. You know what I mean? Like those three defenders. Add someone new into the mix. So yeah, I like it. 185. And he was cheap at the start of the year, so most people had him. Sicily went over. Him will go over later. Ridley 134. Amazing game. Could have been even higher. Sorry about that. Could have been even higher. There was just a couple of times where I feel like they didn't want to give him many points. Like I watched, I'd say the first half, a bit of the second half. He was getting like 1 point per touch. That was interesting. Whereas other people on here were getting like 12 points for not doing anything at all. Starcevic 64, cool. Kind of a low game for him considering I think he's had 90 plus each of the last 2 weeks. So low week, but it's fine. Brander, uh, West Coast is playing really bad. As a West Coast fan, I can say that they're playing really bad. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets dropped. I don't think he will, but I could see it if it was to happen. It wouldn't be a surprise. On the bench, Williamson, 76. Good, because I was starting to think this guy was a bit of a dud. Nah, he's shown up. And it's kind of reversed. Trent Rivers, who everyone thought was good and not a dud, kind of looks like it now. 33. I think he went minus 12 for the fourth quarter. Really bad game. So we'll just put Williamson on field for now. He'll play. Brander is a chance to get dropped. This is the third time recording this. Thursday lineups come out in about 4 hours. But we'll keep it like this. And if Brander doesn't get dropped, then I'll have Brander on field and I'll pull some loop out, something. Cripps, McRae, Oliver. Oliver, not so much. But Cripps and McRae, pretty mediocre weeks. They looked really mid-tier on the weekend. McRae, most of his points came in garbage time. Starting to think that idea that I proposed last week where you don't start dogs midfielders, you trade them in. I think that's actually the way to start Supercoach. I've already made one big mistake, which I'm learning from, but yeah, maybe that's a mistake to learn from next year. Who knows? Saying that, Lockie Hunter comes back from suspension not this week, next week. He has 1 week left on his ban or suspension. So that could move McRae into full-time midfielder, always near the ball. Cripps, on the other hand, just kind of played an off game. didn't get the ball much. When he did get it, his efficiency wasn't the best. Just wasn't very effective. It happens. I'd say Cripps isn't in the highest tier of super coach midfielders. In real life midfielders, he's in that bracket. But in Supercoach, I'd say he's kind of like, if you were to put him in tiers, I wouldn't say Cripps is in C tier. I'd put him like just the one under, right? It's not a knock on him. It's just, yeah, because of these games, there's always a potential for him. I'd say that he's always a bit lower. Oliver, Bont, and Danger. Oliver, really good third and fourth quarters. I tuned into that game. It was getting kind of interesting. Melbourne should have won, but they're kind of known to not be the greatest clutch team of all time. Bont 166. Boy, oh boy, was this a fun Friday night? Was it Friday? I think it was. Thursday night. It was a fun Thursday night. He got 12 points for finishing the quarter. He was getting like 20 points per goal, even if like they're already up 30. Very nice. I'm a big fan of that. And finally, he's gone up in price. He finally he finally went a week where he got past his break even and he's made money. So he never dropped to 500k like some people thought he would. Dangerfield 140 should have been a lot higher. To be honest, he did have that one big goal. I think it came out being like 58 meters. But if he could just kick when he's closer, I don't care about what you do from 58 meters. Be able to kick a goal from 35, you know. That's kind of Danger's season so far. His score's always ruined by the fact he can't kick consistently. Rao, huge. Only a 114, but this man makes a 114 look huge. He had like 2 goals again, or maybe just one. Look at this guy, 171, 141, 114. That's better than both Bont and Dangerfield. To put that in perspective, that's better than Bont, Dangerfield, and McRae. And, I mean, he's averaging heaps more than Cripps. He's actually my best midfielder right now. Think about that. A rookie in his going on to be his 5th game is the best Supercoach midfielder in a midfield with Dangerfield, McRae, Bontempelli, Cripps. He's the best midfielder. That's crazy. Tyler Brown, not a great performance, but had to field him because a bit of controversy in Pickett getting dropped. I won't say controversy, it was kind of expected, but big controversy in Harley Bennell being dropped. Had no idea why that happened. But anyway, Brown maybe gets one more week. I don't think he is the person dropped for Trelaw, especially with Sidebottom getting a suspension. Came out, I think it was yesterday, 6 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that. I think Trelaw kind of comes in for Sidebottom and Brown gets 2-3 more weeks. All right, which would be good. It's great for price. McInerney, McInerney, whatever, yeah, McInerney, I think it is. 74, good game, keeps his spot. There's no way he gets dropped, right? He played well. Against West Coast, he's not getting dropped. Pickett should come back in. To be honest, Richmond look pretty bad. Stack needs to go. I dropped Rioli maybe for a week, like a disciplinary drop for a week. But yeah, Pickett's good enough to come in. It's just he does make a couple stupid mistakes a game. Ned McHenry. This man, he's borderline a meme, if he isn't already. Comes in 34, 17, 33, and he's gone up, combined 6.6k. 3 weeks, 6.6k. That's insane. Bennell should come back. I don't see why he was dropped, actually. I understand, like, for fitness, coming off, like, 110 injuries. All right, you rest him a week, fine. I'm not a fan of it for Supercoach, but for real life, that's fine. Whatever. But surely he comes back. There's no way he gets dropped. I mean, that whole week that he was selected, every story was Bennell back. Harley Bennell looks fine. Everything, and he played well. 50% time on ground, scored 59. But good. It was a good game for a return. Rux, I mean, there's not much to talk about. Gone 141, should have been 181, but he kind of messed up the first quarter. Didn't watch, but from what I hear, he was stuck on the bench, which is the worst thing in the world in 16-minute quarters. Brody Grundy 135. I still think Grundy's injured. I don't think he's at 100%. Hard to tell because, of course, they're not going to give out injury report, but to not play huge, amazing Grundy level against Mumford, I think there's a small injury there, which it's not enough to take him out of the lineup, but it's stopping him from playing at 100%. All right, now the forward line is what really let me down this week. Pretty bad scores. Dusty 81. Dusty's looking very dusty this year. Not great. Besides, I think it was round one where he turned up. Yeah, round one. Not great. 79, 81. And Richmond's not looking good either. But only early season that can turn around. Jai Simpkin, the trade-in, brought him in for Whitfield. I'll probably end up bringing Whitfield back in, if not a week, 2 weeks. Simpkins great. He had kind of an unlucky first quarter. I think he still ended the quarter like top scorer for North Melbourne, but there's a lot of times where he's near the ball and he doesn't get the ball, which I guess that's just football, Can't expect every player on the team to get the ball every possession. But yeah, great player, good money, definitely worth it if you have the money. I'd say bring him in if you're dealing with an injury, but just know that you have missed the boat on the big price rise. Devon Smith 70. It was coming sooner or later. I thought it'd be in the 60s, but it was coming. The fact that he kind of scores very low, but then has a goal and it chucks his score up 20. The way that works is, yes, what's the note say? 18 touches, 6 tackles, but 7 clangers and 44% efficiency. It's going to happen. Still a good pick. He's still got money to go up. He's fine. He's probably top 6 forwards. But, I mean, it's not the worst idea to trade him out late season for maybe a pod. Curtis Taylor and Buderick, and they call him Cozzy Pickett. That's just because they can't say his first name or his second or his first last name. But I just call him Pickett. You know who I'm talking about. Not great. None of them really played amazing. Taylor saved his score by stealing a goal from Ben Brown. Well, he didn't even kick the goal. He stole the mark and hit the post. I don't see any of them getting dropped. There's no chance. And then Max King, key forward, tall forward, just not great. And Sturt's still injured. Actually, I should have went over trades, shouldn't I? All right. So this is a meme, and I'll take the flack for it. My Al, it's fine. He's got to go. I've learnt you don't select key position players. It's better I learn that now in round 5 than I learned that in round 17 or the finals, something like that. It's better I learn it now. And who I'm bringing in is a bit of a pod. Very low ownership. No one really talks about him. Originally was the player I was meant to bring in for Rampy, for Houston, but instead I went to Rampy. And that player is Braden Maynard. All right. So people are probably thinking, who is Braden Maynard? Well, if it lets me, I have to do. If I bring that up, over the last couple of weeks, he's tunned every week. I think he's the only defender to do that. Maybe Lloyd has, but he's tunned every week. Including a 179. I don't remember the 179, but I do remember 115 and 133, 135. He's good. He plays the perfect role. He's a lot of a rebounding, intercept marking type of guy. I think he's going to have a good Supercoach season, and at worst, I think he's like a D5. I don't think this is a trade that can really bite you if you're cautious of that. Of course, it's shit that I have to use, and it's pretty much 2 trades on Rampy. It sucks. I had to go trade from Houston to Rampy, Rampy to Maynard. That sucks, but shortened season, maybe it won't matter. Maybe. I mean, I did save a trade last week, so like I'm using 2 trades last week. Let's see. Any other trades needed? These rookies here, one of them has to go sooner or later. I think next week. King has a 39 break even. So does Taylor, I believe. Not sure. That's off the top of my head. I haven't looked for a couple of days, but I think it's 39. That's hittable. I mean, he hasn't dropped. Has he dropped below 39? No. All right, so he'll hit it. And King, I think 43 is his lowest. Yep. All right, so 42 is his lowest, but that was round 1 before the 6 weeks off. I have faith both will hit it. They should. And Pickett, he's still in the negatives, I believe, so he's fine. Sturt will come back. Sturt will go up a bit more. He'll probably max out at 219 and then get dropped. But yeah, I think next week is the first upgrade. 65k in the bank. I don't know who it's to, but it's probably a forward I'm bringing in. I'd like it to be a forward if possible. I mean, if I can afford Whitfield next week, given just the rookies, then it'll be Whitfield. Spoiler, it'll be Whitfield. But yeah, that's about it for the team. Rampy out, Maynard in. Had to be done. I'm not putting up with another 70 from a key back. All right, now the matchup looks pretty even. Howe's out, so that's a trade. Cornelio plays bad, but I don't think he's like must trade. I think you could hold him. You're just gonna lose money. That's all. Laird sneaky this year. I think Laird against Freo is Adelaide's first chance for a win. Adelaide, Adelaide versus Freo. I don't know who's at home. I can't remember how this works. I think it's away at home. Yeah. So at Freo, no five. Well, what is it? It's on the Gold Coast, so everyone's away. But no five. Could be alright. It could be Adelaide's first win. It's probably the best setup for an Adelaide win. If they don't win that, they will go 0-16, 0-17. However many games there are this year. But Laird could ton. I think that's a sneaky ton there. Bailey Smith, he's always good. Hugh Greenwood, interesting one. It did come out Geelong sending a man to Rail. I don't think it's a full-on tag, but maybe that means Greenwood scores bigger than usual. But no way to really tell. And as for the bench is pretty much the same. Whitefield, Brander, not too sure yet. Yeah, that's the matchup. Going over last week, it was a bit of a smacking. Won by 200 odd points. Yeah, 170, 150, whatever. Pretty big, pretty nice win. Alex Keith. I didn't know if. Oh wait, no, that's not my matchup. Oh, so someone else scored in the 2200s. 2285. Okay, so I won by 100 ish, 120. Um, it was pretty much the Cornelio 49 that the Cornelio 49, the Greenwood 61. That's really what saved it, and Howe being injured. Howe was on track for 150. Him being injured, as sad as it is, won me the match, so I'm grateful. But yeah, that's about it for last week. Fair win. It never loads up the game, does it? Keep loading that one. All right, so that's a matchup. Pretty good week last week. Let me know what trades you are all making. Hopefully you didn't fall for the rampy trap like I did. That's it for this week. I'll see you all next week. Tasty out.